I am jealous of all the plants that you could grow outdoors. It's just amazing, even if I had land.
And then when I went to Hawaii, you go there, you just
And then you're
like,
just like, oh. Fantastic. And this is another luxurians?
Right, got some yellow spots. So I did these walls, and the original plan in here with these walls was to put one of every philodendron that I had on the wall, but I apparently have a lot more philodendrons than I thought I had, because just setting them down, I thought, well, I'm gonna need a lot more space.
Yeah, you need more wall.
Yeah.
Or you need to stop buying philodendrons.
That's not gonna happen. And then, so I've grown this Philodendron Chironii right here.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
I put it on that wall in that spot, and it just went crazy this past summer. I got a really great shot of it. I just don't know why. It had always done acceptable, but it just went crazy this year.
It said, you know what? This is my wall.
I like it.
Yeah.
This is a really cool one. This is Philodendron Yuppie.
Oh yes, I have a small one of these.
Cool plant.
Yes.
Originally, so Yup Moonin collected this, and originally when he saw it, he says he was in a boat going down the river, and when he saw it, leafcutter ants had attacked the plant, and that's why it was like that. And we brought some of it back and went to grow it, and he thought, oh, this is how the plant is, because it does look like it got trimmed out.
Well, what's interesting about it is I wonder if it purposely grows that way so it looks as if like an insect has eaten it, right, so that no other insect goes there. Could be. But have they decided that this was its own species now, or?
Yes, Philodendron Yuppie it has. And then there's one that was often confused with it. We were just looking at this one today. I wouldn't confuse it, but
yeah, this is
let me find a nicer. This is not a named variety yet, but it was very confusing a few years ago.
Yeah.
When they both kind of got popular at the same time.
Interesting. Well, I think that what's interesting about there is this interest in kind of this kind of tri shape.
Yes. It just gives you a little bit of something different, because for me sometimes it's difficult when something's like an arrow-shaped green leaf. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got 50 of those, and when you have to write something about them, like it's green and it does this. When you get a differently shaped leaf or something like verrucosum with the velvet on it, it really is nice to have a little bit different.
Do you know what kind of elatostemma this is?
I only have it as spa.
Okay, because I just got an elatostemma spa that, and I didn't have a species name, so.
Is it that one?
It is that one, yeah. And this little monstera is ready to take over some of this moss.
I know. It's funny, a lot of them reverted and went green, and then this one's going white again, which is nice. They seem to, a lot of aroids in general that are variegated, when I put them in the ground, they heal and they shoot up the tree. And so now you had this fabulous variegated plant, and then once it goes green, they really take off.
So what's the difference now? You said, this is the greenhouse, so is it a little bit warmer in here, or?
Well, so things like these guys are Certosperma. They're really cold sensitive, like 50 degrees. They don't like it. I originally did the greenhouse just really for the covered roof and for emergencies. If there was some cold weather, I could move things in here. A couple of years ago, we had just so much rain, it washed all these really rare seedlings out of the pots in there, and I thought, I just need a roof. Yeah. But if you have a plastic roof, you need air conditioning. So we air condition our greenhouse rather than
heat it, yeah. What is this one with the red on the edges?
That's cold damage.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
It's supposed to look like this. And then this plant is really cool. The new leaves come out white and they fade just like that Florida ghost.
Yeah.
But it got damaged from the cold we had, and they turned red. I thought that's kind of interesting.
I mean, it's really bizarro, because when I think of cold damage, it's like, it may turn like a dark green to black or whatever, and look like you put it in the freezer, essentially, like a broccoli in a freezer, what it looks like. And the verrucosums, I mean, I think they're starting to get a little bit more popular, but
this can be difficult indoors, I've heard, but such a great plant.
I have, I have mine going up a wooden bookshelf, and I have 3 leaves on it now, but it has, it lost its bottom leaves, but it's kind of putting up its energy toward the top. But I I do have to say, I mean, it's been great for me. I've had it now for probably a year and a half, 2 years, growing up in the same position. It's got a fairly good position, but I was so happy to see this when I was in Costa Rica, like clambering along the ground. And
on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And then we were there last year, and then it's all over the side of the road, and you're just like, what? It's just all over the side of the road. And then went back the same way a couple days later, and someone had come by with a weed whacker and cleared the side of the road, and it was like a massacre, verrucosum massacre. Who could do that? You'd have to have no soul to come out there with a weed whacker and do that, or machete probably.
It grows like a weed. Oh, this is Begonia venosa. I just got a clipping of this. Yeah.
This is a cool begonia.
Really cool begonia. And I got a clipping when I was in Fort Worth now, and I was so happy because it rooted. Such a neat one. I realized that like I'm not really a begonia lover, but the ones that are more succulent in appearance are the ones that I particularly like.
I like the weird, there's some really cool, if you've seen Bogneri, it looks like grass. And so when you see it, you think, well, that's not, and I really like things that you'd go, what is that? That can't be a begonia.
Right, some of the more epiphytic begonias were kind of like a little bit more grass-like. They didn't have the typical begonia leaf, and I thought like, oh wow, that kind of looks a little bit more like a weird orchid or something, you know?
And then I do the same with orchids. Like I just grabbed these at the show on the wall there, and I don't usually go for big showy flowers.
Yeah.
I mean, well, each one is, more expensive than this big showy flower. I just like, some of them look like little bubbles, and some of them, it's just more interesting to me to have the unusual foliage.
What is this one?
This is Caladium palaceoanum.
It's a caladium.
Yes.
Oh, that's really
Cool, Ecuadorian.
Interesting. I mean, when I think of my caladiums, they're very papery thin. This is a much thicker leaf.
And I would say in the summer, it's a pretty thick leaf.
Yeah.
Leaves get probably this big, and they're just skinny, and they have this little starry pattern on them. I was going to show you this philodendron over here, right here. Isn't that great? That fuzzy petiole, even better than serpens, I hate to say. Squamicol.
Oh, yeah, okay. Fantastic. But this is just really exquisite. You've really built up a beautiful collection here.
This wall over here, I have a few different philodendrons that I got as verrucosum, and as they grew out, whatever they weren't verrucosum, so they end up being, got your fuzzy stuff there, you end up having verrucosums that have no fur, or that are, this came in a batch of verrucosums, but it isn't, and then the back of the leaf is red.
Well, it looks almost like a, what is that, a
melanochrysum. It looks like melanochrysum,
but with a verrucosum in a way.
Oh yeah, doesn't it? And it's possible that they hybridized in the wild. You never know, because the things do whatever they want when no one's looking. And then there's another one they call this. So this is different from that.
Yeah.
And it's green on the back.
Wow, funny.
And then that's a hybrid between verrucosum and melanochrysum. This is the melanochrysum here.
I guess even if you had hybrids, the different seeds could turn out very differently from one another. So
like siblings.
Yeah, exactly.
And so sometimes we can grow, this might be a high elevation plant that would normally not grow for us from seed. Maybe you get 100 seeds and three grow well for you, so. And sometimes with hybrids, they will grow better. I have plants I can't grow either one, but I can grow their hybrid.
Another one that grows well in the house.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Cercestus mirabilis.
Yes.
This used to be Rectiphyllum mirabilis.
Stunning that there's more silver on the leaf than there is green. Although mine has, I think has a lot more green than silver on my version. Yeah, but it's putting out 3 new leaves. It did get hit by scale, but scale, it doesn't, at least for me, it doesn't kill the plant. It makes it a little less viable, but
sucks the energy out of it.
Sucks the energy out slowly, but it's still putting out 3 new leaves right now, which is like strange because it's winter.
Right.
So
well, this plant, when it gets mature, loses the silver completely. Gets cuts in the leaves, like it looks like it got hit by a train. Like it loses the color, and then it gets all these slits in the leaves. So when you look at it, you'd be like, oh, this ratty plant. It's not even a nice plant. So to me, I like them better like this.
Yeah.
And luckily, I'm generally cutting them enough that I don't have to see mature leaves.
Well, this is fantastic. I mean, we could go on for hours on each of these, but this is such a beautiful collection that you have here. And I just have to say, personally, thank you for offering such great varieties of plants.
No problem.
because for those of us who like to have plants in our homes, and like for me, who was always like trying to try new things and willing to try new things, that, you know, I don't have a backyard, but I have an indoor environment, and you know, some of these are never going to get as big as this, but I do really still enjoy, you know, having the different varieties in my home. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Well, those are some really cool plants at Enid's greenhouses at NSE Tropicals. So if you like these episodes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you want to follow my journey, you could do so on my blog at homesteadbrooklyn.com and on Instagram at homesteadbrooklyn. If you haven't yet, don't forget to check out the Houseplant Masterclass campaign on Indiegogo In Demand. It's going to be up for the next 60 days, and you could actually donate to the project in order to be able to get early access and other rewards. So check it out here.